rest of us are splitting hairs. It's a good world gone bad.
Just like I promised, this is the best short tutorial on how to get that ARRI look on your Sony A7 III with SLOG2 and any other camera from Sony that shoots SLOG2. This camera robot doesn't have actually nothing to do with the SLOG2 tutorial, but there will be a fun review by the end of this week. It's called the OBSBot Tail. You can find them in the link in the description. They are on Kickstarter. First of all, if you don't want to bother with this color correction, I exported this free ARRI look for your Sony SLOG2 and the link is in the description. Remember, looks and grades are completely subjective to your mood and style, and also to your eyes. So this is my way of doing things and yours could be completely different. In my last video I made a complete tutorial on how to set up your Sony A7 III for the best cinematic results, and you can find the link in the description, and also the link should pop up right now. When I'm shooting in SLOG2, I just use the standard predefined color settings for SLOG2. I'm using Premiere Pro, so let's jump in! Once you imported your video on your timeline, let's get straight to the color tab. On the basic correction. Premiere Pro has some great log color correction LUTs for various cinema grade cameras. You will have to select the ARRI default log to Rec 709. The actual footage will look too much highlighted and overexposed. And with the color correction tab you can control the amount of percentage of the applied LUT. So we will first export it as a LUT file. Press the Lumetri option tab and export.cube. Let's call it ARRI look Sony A7 III. The first part is over. Now select None in your basic color correction and go to the Creative drop-down menu. Find your exported ARRI look file and load it. Now we shall lower the intensity of the LUT applied on about 75%. Actually, I always lower the highlights a lot when shooting SLOG2, on about 30%. I like to lower the exposure by a third of stop if I am shooting something outside, to get an extra dynamic range look. It always depends on how you set the exposure at the first time. Then I kinda tend to tweak the shadows by just a little bit. On the RGB curves, I like to apply a custom-made curve, lowering the blacks to bring some more contrast on the whole image. On the color wheel tools, I always like to push the blues on the shadows. Pushing the yellow reddish look on the midtones. And if you want to warm all the things just a little bit more, push a little the highlights on the greenish yellowish side. Put a slight vignette to get that focus on the image and on your subject. Depending on your footage, this look will have to be tweaked every time to get it right. Remember that shooting in different light conditions and matching always a perfect exposure for a specific LUT isn't always possible. Use this LUT that I created for a starting grade base tool and tweak even more your footage. That's it, your simple, stylish ARRI look in a couple of minutes. Comments time! We are back to my Osmo Pocket videos cause they make a lot of hype lately. We have Meshal. I think that you should be called the Osmo Pocket Godfather. Well, yeah. We have another comment from Pep Perez. You sound like Piper Blush. I don't have that kind of boobs. We have another comment, Sean. I hadn't read the video description, I would have thought that was an Audi commercial. Amazing footage, I got really good fall pictures this year with the Mavic 2 Pro, but haven't learned to get that video like that. Well, he is referring on the Mavic Pro 2 winter video that I made a couple of months ago. You can check it. Well, I'm actually pretty impressed on how I got so early that morning out to get that snowy, really great shots with my Mavic 2 Pro. So Audi, you could have that great shots just like I made for my Stilo. Please, came in with a car that I will be able to keep it. Instagram feature. Justo, he is lately a very proud owner of the DJI Osmo Pocket. That was all for today, guys. Thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe with the bell ring icon to get notified every time I make new video, and see you on my next one where I will be making a full in-depth review of the OBSBot tail.